Here's something you've looked at your whole life and never once questioned. People come in different colors, dark, light, every shade in between. You barely notice it, it's just true. But here's the part nobody mentions. It's all the exact same stuff. One ingredient, melanin. Everybody's skin is running the same recipe. The only thing that changes is how much. One dial. Turned up or down. And the strangest bit, a very dark person and a very pale person have roughly the same number of the little machines that make it. Same machines, about the same count, just set differently. And yet, we've stacked so much on top of this one dial setting, whole categories of people, whole histories, which makes it feel like it must run deep, like your color is telling you something fundamental about a person. Hold that thought, because why are some people dark and some light is the wrong question. So, why is the dial set where it's set at all? And who is turning it? Let's go find out. To find the hand on the dial, we go back, a long way back, about 1 million years ago. Here's one of your ancestors, covered head to toe in fur, and under all that fur, they were pale like a chimp is under its hair. Go peek, same pale skin. So we did not start dark. Hold on to that one too. Then we did something strange for an ape. We walked out onto the open, roasting savanna, and we would not stop moving, which cooks you. So we sweated, buckets. And fur soaked in sweat is basically a swamp, so the fur had to go. Almost everyone got the memo. Not the dog. The dog kept the coat. But now we've got a problem. Bare, pale skin under the strongest sun on Earth does not have a good time. So, over thousands of years, the dial turned, and for the first time in our whole story, it went up. We turned dark, properly, permanently dark. So dark skin isn't the default, it's the upgrade, the first real move our skin ever made. But that's only what happened, not why dark was worth it. Why did the sun care so much? Turns out the dial has 2 ropes on it, and 2 little guys pulling opposite ways. On the left, folate, a vitamin you need to build a baby, run low in pregnancy, and things go badly wrong. And its one great enemy is strong sunlight, which breaks it down. So near the equator, folate is begging for a sunshade, and dark skin is that shade. That's the leading idea for why we went dark. Shield the folate, protect the next generation. But this is a tug-of-war. Someone's pulling the other way. Vitamin D for solid bones. And to make it, your skin needs the opposite, sunlight getting in. Dark skin blocks sun, great for folate, rotten for vitamin D. Too much block, too little sun, and bones go soft. And soft bones weren't a small thing. Too little vitamin D in childhood meant bent, bowed legs. For a woman, a pelvis warped that way could make childbirth deadly. So going too dark, too far from the sun, had a real cost. So your color is a truce. Folate hauling toward dark, vitamin D toward light, and the referee is the sun, wherever your ancestors happened to stand. And in the in-between places, it did something clever. One fixed setting won't do. Strong sun in summer, weak sun in winter. So it built a dial that moves. You've got one. It's called a tan. Which brings us to the trip that seems to settle it. People left Africa and fanned out across the whole planet. And as they went, the sun reset the dial to match each new sky. Not everyone went pale. Plenty settled where it stayed blazing, across South Asia, Northern Australia, and stayed richly dark or brown. Only the ones walking into weak northern sun started to lighten, and that lightening is recent, really recent. Most of the first humans to reach Europe were dark-skinned for tens of thousands of years. There's a famous Brit, nicknamed Cheddar Man, about 10,000 years old, dark skin, bright blue eyes. Pale European skin only spread in the last several thousand years. Yesterday, in evolution's terms. Farming may have hurried it along. Grain diets are poor in vitamin D, so the pressure to catch sunlight cranked up. And here's the kicker. Going pale didn't happen once. Europe found one way to turn the dial down. East Asia found another with completely different genes. The same puzzle, solved twice. Meanwhile, the dog is still trying to change color by lying in the sun. It is not working. So, there it is. Here's what we came for. Your color is just a map of your ancestors' sky. One dial, set by sunlight. Mystery solved. Which would be a very tidy place to stop. Except, it's not that clean. Because if color just followed sunlight, somebody should break the rule. And somebody does. The Inuit, way up north, barely any sun, but not pale. The leading answer? They ate their vitamin D, a diet of oily fish and sea mammals packed with it. No need to turn the dial down, if dinner already handled it. Though honestly, scientists still argue the details, and folate might not be the whole story either. A lot of researchers think dark skin is more of a Swiss Army knife. That same melanin may also toughen the skin, keep water in and germs out, handy on a hot, crowded savanna. And going pale may have been part penny pinching. Making pigment is expensive, so where the sun's weak, why keep paying for it? Ideas still being tested. And the loudest argument of all, does dark skin fight skin cancer? For years, the answer was no. Cancer strikes too late in life to matter. Then a scientist named Mel Greaves stood up and said, "Not so fast. People with albinism near the equator get deadly cancers very young, right in the baby-making years." The reply came from anthropologist Nina Jablonski. Not a fair comparison. Our ancestors could still tan. That argument is still going. Nobody's won, which is the honest answer. Your skin might be a sunshade and a shield and a few other things. We're still finding out. So let's go back to those people we started with. Because by now you might be thinking, fine, a dial set by the sun all across the planet. Surely this is what race is. Science finally backing up the boxes. No. And this is the part I most want you to hear. Remember how it felt like color must run deep? It's the opposite. It's the shallowest thing about you. Skin color is a smooth slope, not a set of boxes. Walk from Norway down to South Africa, and you never once cross a line where a new race begins. It just slides. And the traits don't travel together. Color sorts people one way. Who can drink milk sorts them a completely different way. Take the single gene that does the most to make European skin pale. You'd assume it's European. It isn't. The exact same version from the same ancient source is carried by over 1 billion people across India. And the fact that breaks the whole idea. The most different skin colors on Earth are all in one place, Africa. The darkest people alive and some of the lightest people in Africa, neighbors on one continent. 2 dark-skinned people there can be more different in their genes than either is from a pale European. And some of the darkest-skinned people anywhere aren't in Africa at all. Southern India, Aboriginal Australia, not closely related to Africans. Same sunshade, completely separate families. Because color is a thin coat of paint, a sunscreen setting on the outside, run by a few powerful genes out of dozens. It tells you where your ancestors' sun was, almost nothing else. So look at them again. Same people, same picture. You haven't changed a thing, but what you're looking at has. Not types, not boxes, not better or worse. The same dial in every one of them, set to a different sky. A record written in one ingredient of where your family stood when the sun found them. Same species, same paint, different amount. That's the whole story. The dog is still furry. The dog does not care. And if you'd turn your own dial to subscribe, evolution would appreciate it.